Greetings. Hey, I think it's been about a year or so. Probably time for another clock update. Today we're going to be talking about the Horcrux clock, the wooden one that I designed and built from scratch. Yeah, so that's been running all year. It's been keeping great time. It works almost as well as I could have hoped. I wish I could get just a little bit more runtime out of it, but 3 days ain't bad. It really ain't. Well, I'm working on an update to the design. This first one was always just a prototype anyway. And yesterday I sat down to do something online, and I heard this crash, explosions of pennies. And I had let my clock go too long without maintenance, and what had happened was let's get it out of here. The motor gear shaft became disengaged from its motor pinion shaft. So these two are supposed to mesh, but if one of the axles slides in or out a little bit, if one of the axles slides in or out and they don't mesh, the motor, all that weight on the motor is going woo, and 20 pounds of pennies comes crashing to the floor. Which means it's time for a little maintenance. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 4 things to this clock, to this prototype. Number 1 is I cut a significantly thicker motor pinion so it has more wiggle room. Another one is the clock's been stopping a lot the last couple weeks, which it normally runs fine, never stops. But the last few weeks it's been stopping a lot, and I think it's because the escape wheel, is warped just enough that it rubs against the back and stops. I've already straightened it out, so that's a lot better than it was. It was about not quite a half inch, yeah, maybe a half inch of wobble at one point. Where's the X? There, this side right there where that X is. That rubs against the casing. No good. So I got that kind of straightened out a little bit. And then what else did I do? See, the new motor pinion, the escape wheel's bent. Of course, when the cradle, the weight cradle, came crashing to the floor, it broke in like 4 or 5 pieces. 20 pounds of pennies will do that to this thin wood. So I had to glue this thing all back together. It's almost done drying. And then the last thing is these lights. The lights that I use, the backlights, it's a strip of LEDs with a remote that plugs into a USB charger. And I got these LEDs from Family Dollar. They were in the checkout line. This is that junk you can get. It's in the pile on the front of the store. And I saw a box of LEDs for $5. I grabbed 2 of them. And that's what's on here. It's not quite long enough to go all the way around, so I had to make some solder joints right here. See if you see, that's my own hand soldering. Ooh. There we go. That's my own hand solder job right there. And I tell you what, I may be an electrical engineer, but if I have to get out the soldering gun, we're all in trouble because I'm so bad at it. It's a mess. But that might I learned something today, and that might be because I always use those cheapo soldering guns from like Harbor Freight. Never had a nice one. So my uncle Brian was a repairman, and he's actually was the one who inspired me to become an electrical engineer. His basement was always full of tore-apart electronics and all kinds of junk, resistors, capacitors, power banks. Oh, it was paradise for me as a little kid. I loved going over to Uncle Brian's house. And when he died, I actually got to raid his house. And one of the things I grabbed was this solder gun. They don't make them like this anymore. Look at that Sears Roebuck, man. Sears Roebuck Craftsman, right there. Look at that. There's a model number. It might be worth some money. Hell if I know. But pretty sweet. And I just, perfect, done, fixed. No more LED problem. First try.
Pull my hair.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Did you ask her nicely not to?
No.
Did you tell Mommy?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
She hit me.
Your Mommy hit you? Medley hit you. Medley, was that nice?
I didn't do.
Girls, is your room clean? No? Please go finish cleaning your room.
And then after cleaning the room, would you build our tent?
Yes. Go clean your room. I need to clean a room where I can build a tent. I love you. Be nice to each other. All right, where were we? Oh, so I did all this maintenance stuff, and I guess it's going to be time to put it back together here real soon. That's Horcrux update. 1 year. I guess the warranty's expired now, isn't it? It's been a year. I'm going to put this thing back together and see if we can't get it to run for another year. And then my goal is to make 5 more of these and give them out as gifts to like really close friends and family. It's a tall order, but I've already done it once. It'll be a lot easier now that I have all the tools and I know how it goes together. I know the best way of doing it. I bet you I could cut that build time in half. So, anyway, I got a month of vacation. Ha! And I got to do something with it. So hopefully we're going to turn out some clocks. Yeah. I'll give you another update once I get this thing assembled if it works. If you never see another thing about this again, just assume I threw it in the wood pile in the back and burned it. Have a good night.